Rise for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets,
Present.
Greg Miller,
Present.
Megan Sheets,
Present. Okay, we have the minutes for March 27, 2023 regular meeting. Will you?
Make a motion that we accept the minutes of last meeting,
I don't believe you were here last week.
June 27th.
That's what I was trying to figure out. That's correct. Okay, so I will make the motion that we accept the minutes from March 27th, please. Second that motion, roll call please.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Abstain.
Megan Sheets.
Aye. Okay, next we have the claims and the requisitions for approval, and I think Megan, you have the claims right there with you. And we'll do those first and then we'll go with the requisitions.
I'll make the motion that we approve the claims that Carol Bartley has presented this evening.
Second.
Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Okay,
All right, do you want them one at a time? Or would you like me to go through all of them?
okay, should we do them individually?
Yeah, we can, that's fine. So I'm gonna start with the Police Station Building Corporation. There are two requisitions for this. The first one is, the requisition from the bonds of $865,288.86. That's requisition certificate number 11P. And that was approved by the Police Building Corporation this afternoon.
I'll make a motion that we accept requisition certificate number 11P.
I'll second.
Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
All right, second one from the Police Building Corporation was for change order 3/27. The total amount of that is $100,000 for payment from the construction fund for that project.
I'll make the motion we approve the $100,000 payment for change order that was approved on March 27th.
Second.
Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
All right,
Oh, wait,
That 100,000 is in the, it's already in the 800 stuff that you've already approved.
we're approved, I should have phrased that better. We're approving the change order, or ratifying the change order for the 100,000, not the requisition. If you're correct, the 865,288.86 includes that $100,000. What we needed to do with that is we needed to ratify the change order that was approved on March 30th, March 27th by the Police Building Corporation.
So may I amend, is it too late? Can I amend my motion or do I need to withdraw?
You can amend the motion, fine.
I'll amend the motion to ratify the $100,000 payment for the change order.
Second.
roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is for the redevelopment authority for the pool project, aquatic center. The first one we'll do is requisition certificate 11A in the total amount of $347,873.64. This was approved this afternoon by the redevelopment authority.
Make a motion to accept requisition certificate 11A, amount of $347,873.64.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Okay, the next one is also for the aquatic center project. from the Frankfurt Redevelopment Authority. This is FFE 12A, and this was in an amount of $7,310.75, and it was approved by the Redevelopment Authority this afternoon as well.
I'll make the motion, we approve FFE 12-A.
Second.
Roll call, please. Mayor Sheets. Craig Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
The next one is FFE 13A, for an amount of $1,454. This was approved by the Redevelopment Authority this afternoon as well.
I'll make the motion that we also approve FFE 13-A in the amount of $1,454.
Second motion.
Roll call, please. Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Craig Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
The final one is requisition certificate for FFE 14A, and the total amount of $5,314.03. This was also approved by the Frankfurt Redevelopment Authority this afternoon.
I'll make a motion to accept requisition certificate FFE 14A of $5,314.03.
I'll second.
Roll call, please. Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Craig Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
I think we got all those, didn't we? Okay, thank you. Joe, was that okay?
Ma'am? Yes.
Same thing? Okay, thank you. Okay, do we have any public comments? Anybody see? No? Okay, we'll go on to the department reports. Police Department, Chief Shoemaker.
I'm diabetic. Who did that?
Oh,
Well, she talked about, Liz talked about the police department. Just wanted to confirm that we have ordered the furniture, and thank you for moving that on early so we could get a discount for paying in full. So the plan at this point is the furniture to arrive end of May with installation the first week in June. And as far as the building goes, there's currently working on siding the building today, finishing some things on the inside. We're on pace to have the building open to the public in 1st of June. That's the plan.
Yes.
There's been a lot of complaints about speeding on Freeman at 3rd Street, or actually between 1st and 5th. There's no way for me to continuously have a police officer down there 24/7. I'm asking that the board consider at this time a stop sign. As much as I don't really like adding stop signs, I believe at this point, the complaints from the neighborhood and hopefully an attempt to slow the speeds to keep people at 30 miles an hour or less would be to install a stop sign at Freeman at 3rd Street. We believe that with the park there and as summer comes, that yes, there hasn't been any crashes. There's not been much activity at that intersection yet. So we're hoping to decrease the severity of injuries or fatalities if an incident eventually occurs there on that stretch between 1st and 5th by putting the stop sign at 3rd Street. So I don't know if you have any questions for myself or Jason. I know we've talked about this, we've tried enforcement, and we can't seem to get compliance with traffic stops and citations. The stop sign will help slow traffic.
We had concerns a few months back, and I've asked you to check into it, and we continue to get complaints and concerns. Yeah. It's right there at the park. The last thing we want is for a child to be injured or for an accident, so, you would consider doing that this time, go ahead and place the stop sign.
I'll make a recommendation that we accept the proposal to put a stop sign at Freeman at 3rd as recommended by Chief Schumacher.
I'll second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Jason, would you be able to get us our sign out there then?
See if I can find one.
Okay, thank you,
Yes, we will.
thank you.
Other than that, department reports, we have academy graduation next week. We'll have Officer Cunningham and Henley back for the police academy on the 21st. We'll be attending a graduation down there next Friday evening. And then we'll get them back. We send 2 more for 15 weeks. And so everything's moving along. Good news is Madison Douglas has been selected to pass for the first pitch. I think you've thrown the first pitch before, so she will be at the softball night. Did you throw it at the softball or baseball?
Baseball.
Yeah. So we'll be attending the Purdue softball game this Friday, so Friday evening. Other than that, we're just working. We're still waiting on vehicles that we ordered last October. I'm not even getting any replies back from the dealership, so I don't know if they're tired of me or, but we have decommissioned the 2012 Dodge Chargers that are, really much dead on the side of the police station, and we're gonna auction those off this summer, but we really need those new cars. And so when they get here, we will get those moved out. We're working on, I showed the building off today. That's an local organization to consider using our old building for their new building. So we did a tour today and we're working with them. And we're still working with Jason. The plan is to have the city auction at the police department to make it easier for us to sell items inside the building. So moving along on the building, hopefully everything's done. And right now we just sit back and hope that they get every subcontractor's in there, should be paving in a couple weeks, the parking lot, and to have the building in our hands at the end of May.
We're getting there.
That's all I have. Unless there's any
Thank you for all
questions.
your work on it.
None? Thank you, Mary.
Thank you. Okay, fire department, Joshua. Our chief is at training, is that correct?
I believe so, yeah, he's on his way.
Yeah, on his way to training, okay,
Yeah,
okay, good.
so, Chief told me before he left, he said you guys had an item to approve today, which is the contract with Center Township Fire Protection Service, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes, I can speak to that a little bit.
Okay, that'd be great.
So I think you guys have already approved this, once, but there were some changes that I ended up making to it because the format was really wonky. And there were some things that were missing that needed clarification, so I worked on that, a while back and made the format a little bit nicer and cleaner, and just updated a couple of things that were unclear and essentially the gist of the contract is exactly the same, it's just been updated a little bit.
We're satisfied with it, so,
You're good with
yeah.
Okay,
I'll make the motion that the city execute the Center Township Fire Protection Contract.
A second.
roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, we've got that approved, Center Township Fire Contract.
Thank you. Repairs and remodeling continue to headquarters. We're almost finished with our kitchen remodel, so the guys have really been chipping in and doing all the work themselves on that, so it's really turned out nice. Hopefully here we'll get it done pretty soon. I think Matt said there's maybe a group coming to visit here pretty soon.
That's what we're hoping, we
Yeah.
get it done pretty soon.
Yeah,
Say it,
exactly,
yeah.
yeah. So, we also have, lots of guys that have been signed up for classes, the state ran classes and certifications. So far this year, we've sent several. We just had another round of guys sign up today for a class, instructor's class, which we'll actually host here at the fire department, which is great for us because we don't have any travel expense. And, guys can do that.
Like in the training building
Right,
already,
yeah.
so
So-
we're ready.
So that's been good, but we utilize that and we appreciate it when the availability to have that kind of training now, so. And along with that, we've been training new hires. We have two new guys right now, soon to be a third one, I think. He's passed his medical portion and he's waiting on first, so But those guys are being trained and they're coming along very well, so that's going well. And then the last thing I've got is that we're hosting a retiree lunch on the 19th. We've had a gentleman was gracious enough to step forward and offer to pay for that. Retired firefighter Tony Snyder is actually heading that up. So he and I kind of tag team that. I made a flyer and Tony's been the liaison with the gentleman who has offered to anonymously pay for the lunch and have it catered. So we're looking forward to that. So yeah. Other than that, I don't have anything. So
I do appreciate all the fire department's done and making sure that the guys are getting training. I think that's so important. And it's really good to see everybody involved and want to do that. And also go back to the renovations that have been done. You have the training facility now that's been repaired, that back wall. So thank you. Okay, street department, Jason Forsythe.
yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to start out with the Parks Department here. I got a couple concerts and programs that we need to get approved. First one is Stella Luna and the Satellites. It's going to be like 6:30 to 8:30 on August 10th, 2023. Retainer of $1,750, the deposit paid $75. And the rest of it up later on. Prairie Creek Park, August 10th, 2023.
I do have one question that I noticed in perhaps Katie and I see that she's here, maybe you can address it, Katie. And I don't have a problem with retainers and deposits for entertainment and so forth. But what I am noticing on their contract format is that deposits are non-refundable. And if there were such as inclement weather, for example, and we were to cancel prior to the setup, does that mean that that deposit is still non-refundable? I have a problem with that.
So there is a few of our contracts that do have it on there. But I've been communicating with them very well. If there is inclement weather to where we are not able to have the concert out of our undoing, there is a way for us to schedule them at another date that this year, or actually have them, set up for the following year. 'Cause I know we did have a concert last year in that same predicament, and we got them to come back. So we didn't lose any money, and we were still able to book with them.
Council, do you think it needs to secure any other language in the contract to assure that, or?
I mean, my preference would be that we have language that says, if the deposit's going to be non-refundable, that we could reschedule, and that if we couldn't reschedule, that we could get a refund of the deposit. I know that these bands are sometimes difficult to negotiate with. I would say, it's not a large amount of money, but ultimately it'd be up to you all whether or not you felt comfortable with that. But I definitely think that having something in writing is always better than not having something in writing.
We do have a contract that you guys had approved, like a template approving it, and in that it does state that we will be able to reschedule within 1 year, one full calendar year. If not, then receive all money back to the producer.
Are they going to be signing that?
I can talk to them tomorrow and see if that's something that she can do. She's very, very nice, so I have a feeling she won't have a problem with being able to agree to that and sign it and get it back.
I would think so too. I mean, if the board wanted to, you could approve the contract contingent upon that clause being added, and then you could pass it today so that we don't lose the contract. And then if they refuse, then that would be something that we would need to address at a later meeting.
and I can let her know that, and then have their send it to me this week, if not by the end of the day on Wednesday. So, and then I can send it to you guys to let you know.
That's great. Thank you, Katie. You're a great liaison for the contracts
No
and the city and the
problem.
park. I appreciate that. I'd like to offer the motion that, for the Stella Luna contract, that we approve this and, given the additional assurance of, reschedule if we need to and not lose the deposit.
A second motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye. Thanks
And
again for the
Yeah.
clarification.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm gonna have her hang for a minute.
Okay.
The next one I have is Chase Wright is the artist, September 30th at 6:30 at Prairie Creek Park. $5,000 is the fee. And will require a deposit as well, once we finalize the contract. And I believe that's a $2,500 deposit. Yes.
I make a motion that we approve the contract for Chase Wright to perform on September the 30th for the fee of $5,000.
I will second that motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Okay, you got that one too?
Yes.
Thank you.
And then I will, send them to Tina. to sign.
Perfect. Okay, okay, thank you.
Carol, any comments?
I have them, thank you.
Another thing with the park, I just want to let everyone know we had to reschedule the Easter egg hunt that Katie Ann worked so hard putting together for us. It's 11 a.m. this Saturday at TPA Park. We had some pretty bad weather that weekend. Thankfully, not a lot of damage to TPA Park, but obviously I had to cancel that with everything going on. So we're going to reschedule that. We rescheduled that. I know it's been put out at 11 a.m. on Saturday. So let everybody know that. From the street side of things, I want to let the board know, and Mayor, if you'd like me to, I can speak to the council just for a few minutes tonight, but I spoke with Tim Watson, who's the NDOT traffic coordinator. It's kind of a guy that Scott and I work with quite a bit, and we have problems downtown and things, and he's a super guy to work with. But in reference to the stoplight that will be put in at State Road 28-200 West, we'll begin that work on June 19th.
That's good to hear.
We'll be starting that on June 19th. And then I believe the letting for the Wabash and Hope stoplight or their speedway, I think I've spoke to you guys about that becoming a reality. I think the letting date is sometime in November. What that means, that's usually the time, somewhere around that will be the time that they start. That's
Okay,
kind of their word for start date. But, so that'll start going in some time around that. And then the last thing I had, I can't remember, is this department update?
Yes.
Okay. Storm update just from the park side. First of all, I can't thank everyone in both departments enough. I'm not sure if you saw East Side Park. East Side Park was a disaster after that storm went through, and everyone got out there and got everything cleaned up pretty quick. Like had to remove at least one tree, I think, for sure, just a small one, and then a lot of branches and things down on the playground. Unfortunately, I don't think it done anything with all the work that was done from the moose herd the week before that, so that was good. But there was also some damage that the Little League's aware of to the bleachers at the new ball field that they put together a couple of years ago. They're aware of that. I think they put in their insurance for taking care of all that. So but there was quite a bit of damage there. And then obviously everybody knows the city was a mess for a while. We were very lucky with what occurred. But we've had guys, 2 loaders out with 3 trucks with each loader since Monday, every day. One of the things we looked at that we ran into that night was the fact that when you lose power during some of these, which a lot of times you can lose a tree, but you won't lose power, you can't see a whole lot. So we've since purchased a tripod light, battery operated light that Chief Stidham talked about. And so we'll have something to light that area up the next time. And we had obviously our headlights and things like that. We had several vehicles there, but that was kind of a tough thing at that time of day. Other than that, we removed some large trees. We've been using our chipper every day, trying to chip some small things, and keeping the loaders on the big piles and away from going to things that, you and I can pick up together. So both departments have done an outstanding job. I'm happy to report that. So, everybody used this weekend as a time to go out and start doing things again. So we're kind of starting all over again. That's okay. We've been utilizing the nice weather to get things cleaned up in your own yards and everything like that. So.
I want to thank the street department, parks department for all that you did to help on the cleanup, police department, fire department, everybody pulled together and we were successful. And like you said, still working on it. So I'm thankful for our utilities as well. And then Lebanon sent in some utility workers. So this is what I love to see about our community. We all work together and we make sure that everybody's taken care of. And I thank you for that.
If somebody has anything for me, that's all I have.
Do you mind how to do the contracts? That's what it's taken care of.
So, we have, the independent contractor agreement for the landscaping. That will need to, approve if it meets your approval. This is for the bids that went out for the north, south, and east entrances to the city, and then also Old Stony's landscaping, irrigation, and all of that. So I've got that agreement ready to go. I did include in this all of the different things that were in the request for proposals, the mowing, the trimming, the weeding, all of that good stuff. Additionally, I included language regarding any licensure that one might need for irrigation or fertilization. That is a requirement, as well as the insurance information, employment eligibility, and that sort of thing in that contract.
Thank you, Alicia, very much for pulling that together. That's just what we needed. So I'd like to make the motion to approve the independent contractor agreement for the landscaping requirements that we have for Old Stony and the interways. And this is between the City of Frankfort and Platinum Property Management doing business as Platinum Landscaping.
I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets, Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Reach out to him and have him sign up and stuff. I sure will. Or I can give it to Tan, you can stop by our office.
Okay. Next thing is the concession agreement for Sapphire Bay. This is for the 2023 summer pool season. The information in here matches when the pool is open to the public. So they will be open for 1 week before that, and then 1 week after the pool closes. They'll be doing cleanup, and they'll have the lease for that time to set up and tear down, and then they will be open all of the hours that the pool is open. They will just be providing general concession wares, if you will, to the general public. So, any questions on that one? Any questions?
I'll make a motion that we accept the concession agreement with the City of Frankfort and Kevin Townsley.
And I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, that passes. Kevin?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes.
The next one is the concession agreement for TPA Park. This is pretty much exactly like what we had last year, for the summer park season. The only thing I did not know is what hours of operation would be, so that will need to be filled in, what the time frame for the daily, operation will be, but it will be open 7 days per week. So that's on page 1. And that can just be filled in with, in handwriting, it's fine. Or I can change the first page, whichever you all desire. But this is between Clarence Davis and Hazel Davis doing business as Big Country Barbecue and Catering. This lease will run from May 28th, 2023 to September 30th, 2023, but can be extended for an additional term to run from October 1st, 2023 to May 27th, 2023 by agreement of parties. So if we want to extend that for the winter season, we can do that as well. Yep. And then, again, general concession food, keep it in clean order, and that's pretty much the same as what we had last year.
I make the motion that we approve the concession agreement for TPA Park between the city and Clarence and Hazel Davis.
I second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
And you can make sure that you get the 2 concessions. Thank you.
I think those are all the ones that had to do with Jason.
Everything else, Jason?
That's all I have there.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go back to buildings, or do you wanna go ahead with yours?
No, you can do building services.
I think the next one's building services, and then part of this is for him anyway, so, okay. Non-stop.
If it's not, I'm here anyway.
Okay.
Just a few things to clean up first. Mayor, as Dale Davis is in the audience tonight to talk about the county annex building and getting permission for sidewalks, parking, and maybe the removal of Main Street to keep it open while construction work is being taken care of. But first, let's do our permits for March. We've issued 57 permits, totaling revenue of $3,507.41. Last year we did $3,659. Year before, $4,081, and year before that was $1,635. 30-day electricals are still going on, which is always a good sign. A lot of roof repair, and the total evaluation for the March would be $759,300 worth of potential tax revenue. Also, in our department head meeting, we discussed the ability to waive the fees for folks who were repairing their homes from the storm a couple weeks ago. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 so far that I thought we would go ahead and waive. I don't know if you want them all at once or at one at a time. All at once, be okay?
And then also, if you have any more that
Yep.
come in that pertain to the storm damage. then we
Right.
could do that. Okay.
So the 6 are Garney Jenkins Enterprise at 358 Brightwood Drive. This was an electrical residential permit. The Crawford Family Fence they have 2 permits, one at 2054 Maple Leaf Drive and 1208 East Wabash. Of course, those are fences. Joe Root picked up a permit for a roof at 1551 East Morrison Street. Mr. Sherman came in for a roof at 1057 Guard Street, and Robert Hernandez for a minor residential repair for 1154 South First Street.
I'm glad to offer the motion that we, the city waive permit fees for the sundry repairs around our community. The residents need to make it as effective the storm. Both those listed by Don this evening and future permits as well for that same reason.
We'll second the motion.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller, Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Yeah, the community, thank you very much.
Probably, John, what would be good is then if, as your list grows, just go ahead and bring it back to us so we can put it in the minutes. I think that we can put it in. So,
Will do.
thank you.
No, thank you. I'm very appreciative. Also, this evening, before Mr. Davis comes up, I think that Ms. Alicia has our 50/50 sidewalk request for bids.
Yes, so I've got the notice to bidders. Due to publication constraints, we will need to have them open at the May 8th meeting, not at the next meeting, because there's not enough time to get it published between the two. So, they are due at 4:00 PM on May 8th, and, then they'll be opened as a Board of Works meeting that evening.
I'll make a motion that we approve the date for opening bids for the 50/50 sidewalk contract.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Thank you again. Dale, come on up. We'll bring Dale up and he'll talk to you about the things that he will need to have taken care of so that they can tear down and rebuild.
Also, I was gonna tell you that Jordan got a hold of Jordan Brewer. He said he wasn't gonna be able to make it. Had you talked to him? Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll write up there.
And also with me is Deshaun Johnson from RQAW. He's one of the engineers on our team. So,
One of the engineering and RPW. So I'll try to help answer some of the utility questions you guys might have best I can. One of our civil guys, he's not available.
Thank you.
so the three documents I handed out to you all, those are three different sheets. You have our site demo sheet that just kind of highlights everything that's being taken out. It more or less highlights the entire site, being the existing Regions building and that entire parking lot that goes the width of the block behind it. The entire parking lot's not being demoed, but it is being resurfaced, so it's on that sheet. The second sheet shows our maintenance and traffic plan. That's gonna probably be a major focus of ours here tonight. And then the third sheet shows our disturbed area, so you can really see how much we're actually getting into that parking lot and that site. So to start with the easier part of the conversation, the disturbed area of the site, it really comes down to the Regions building that's coming down and the Teller building that's in the middle of that parking lot is coming out as well. Asbestos remediation on the building is done and finished late last week. So everything's ready to come down. We do have a common law with Arnie's and conversations with them about making ourselves as unobtrusive as possible and leaving them in the best situation that we can, being the best neighbors that we can. So they're obviously shorter than the Regions building, so we'll be taking Regions building down, shortening that common wall, making sure it's weather tight, and working with them through the process. Our new building will be structurally independent of theirs. So we're actually cantilevering our building a little bit, so our footers will be away from Arnie's basement, so we don't cause any settlements or other issues for their centuries-old building. But we'll be right up against Arnie's, we'll be inches away from it, because we'll cantilever over and stand the distance, and then we'll seal that gap so no animals or water or anything else gets down in there. So that's all been planned out. We'll be taking the footprint that we have to work with. We'll be holding that street line with Arnie's. We'll be stepping in about a foot and a half or 2 feet from the west side, from the park side, just so we're not going on top of our old foundations. We really don't have a lot of old foundations along that south side. And where we do, it would interfere with Arnie's, so we're gonna do a whole new structural system on that south side and allow us to pull all the way up to the street front again, so you'll have that nice wall of building kind of like is there today. The main reason, I just want to give you some background to what we're doing. The main reason we're here tonight is that second exhibit, that maintenance of traffic. It's a tight site. We're in the middle of the downtown, and we've got a lot to work through to make this new building happen. Conversations with commissioners just did not make economic sense to rehab the old Regents building. We were 20% away from building a new building, even with preliminary budget estimates, before we even opened up the walls in the old building. 20% is pretty, it's something we would probably find once we got that building opened up. So it made a pretty easy decision to move forward with the new building. And it also gave them the opportunity to go bigger with the third floor and have space for future growth. We're going to need space to maneuver on the site, and as much as we have. So what we're proposing to do is to shut the sidewalks and the alley that are immediately adjacent to the building down for the duration of construction and demolition. Our construction time frame is about 14 months. Obviously, we'll open stuff up as soon as we're out of the way. But I want to come in saying what the longest duration we see is. We'll shut down the sidewalk, shut down an adjacent parking lane to the building. And then on the Main Street side, we want to also shut down the parking adjacent to the park so we can push the travel lanes, keep the two travel lanes open, but push them over towards the park. That will give us room to set our crane and receive deliveries on the west side of the building, so we're not tying up the courthouse square to the extent possible, but keeping ourselves on that west side. We think that's going to be our least invasive option to stay out of everybody's way. In terms of buildings getting deliveries, like Arnie's, like the trash service, everything's coming off that alley. So there's a wall between the alley and our parking lot. It's coming down with demolition. The intent being that power utilities want to bury the lines through there. So that's all going to be ongoing, same time more or less. We'll fill in where that wall was so that the trash truck can make a U-turn and get back out for our old parking lot. Yeah. We will ask some flexibility to work with staff to maintain this as our construction goes, because eventually we're going to have to switch to where we're working in that part of the lot, so we're going to have to push the trash truck out a different way. But the one part of that plan I will say is we're going to make sure that people have access to their deliveries and their trash routes. We're also going to keep part of the parking lot open for the vast majority of construction, so that employees of, again, Arnie's and other neighboring businesses have a place for their employees to park as they have been to date. So I think that's it in a nutshell. If you have any questions on utility connections, I know we're going to have to get out in the street for various water and sewer closures. Sean,
Yeah,
there's more about that than I.
The storm line's it's running on the south side of the site, so is the domestic water. So on the south side, we got to end up capping a lot of the existing services during the demolition, so there won't be any punctures or any issues in the process of construction. Kind of keep that in mind. So the new fire service, upgrade the existing gas line, to handle the additional gas. More sanitary line, reducing the low water pressure in the area. So we think we were around 50 psi, we were around at least 65 to 100. Have to add a fire pump to get that extra pressure for the sprinkler system. This is something that's very important. But really all I have on it.
We worked with the utilities on this.
Yes,
right?
yes, we have.
I thought that's what I told
Yeah, we talked to
you.
them.
Yes,
Yeah, we talked to utility companies.
yeah, that's what I thought you'd been talking to them.
Yeah.
So it's my understanding that Main Street on the east side, you're gonna have that blocked off, or is it gonna be fenced off or whatever? Okay, so what we need to consider is just getting rid of those parking spaces. Would be on the west side of
Yes.
Main, that's what, right
Well,
there
it'd be
by,
on- It'd be on both sides of Main for that block
mhm.
adjacent to.
But you're gonna have the one area fenced, and then this other side you're gonna use as a travel
Correct.
lane. Okay, so we would need to close those down.
Yeah, so we're gonna get, close down all the parking on both sides of Main there. We'll restripe and.
You
shift
will
the-
restripe it, okay.
Shift the lanes over. We're gonna bring in some, a temporary stop sign on the, corner, since we're gonna be, the corner of, I guess it's a Main, you know. a little-
Yes.
A little closer to the courthouse. And we're gonna pull the fence back at an angle, or so you'll have line of sight from the westbound traffic to the southbound traffic, so you can actually see one another and let this four-way stop continue to function.
Okay,
The other part I should bring up is we've also been in communication with the Main Street Group
Mhm.
in terms of their plans for sidewalk improvements and everything else, so that we're not doubling down or undoing any of their efforts. We do have plans for sidewalks and electrical and other things of that nature through there. And, we're willing and able to work with them, and you know, it's going to be open. So if they need to get in there, if they need us not to put things back, if they need us to put it back differently, these are all conversations that are just open for right now. As of right now, as you can see on the demolition plan, we are planning to take the sidewalk out to the back of the curb. We're planning to put back regular concrete because I know the Main Street is looking to redo that strip on both sides of the building anyway. So we're also talking with them about what's the best way to put it back that doesn't make it overly difficult for them to come in and do their efforts afterwards. Because again, if they're going to follow us, say 6 months later, it doesn't really make sense for us to pull or curb the building face. We'll work on an alternate plan with them. But anyway, all those conversations are ongoing, and we're trying to make it so that no one's doubling down on anybody else's efforts. And the power utility's been instrumental in that, figuring out how to get the lines all buried behind this project. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we are taking all the utilities for that block, the overhead lines
Yeah.
underground.
To the fiber and the.
It's gonna go
underground.
Yeah.
But with that, though, we have to add on the transformers, so that we do utility fees to the existing properties over there. Those transformers will reside on the north side of the alley. Just keep that in mind, and they lose, 3 or 4 parking spots because of add on transformers, but it's a much better design.
It'll really clean up the appearance of that.
absolutely. I'm excited to see that. Back in the alley that needed to be done, so.
And that's, well, again, we're working closely with utilities on that, but it's gonna, the lead times on some of their equipment's gonna take them a little while, but we're gonna work through that with them. Utilities are gonna put in 2 temporary poles and essentially the middle of our parking lot to get those lines at least away from our building during construction, so we don't have any accidental strikes or anything like that.
And tell me again, what's the beginning date?
So we're looking to begin demolition, I'd say next 4 weeks. And then after that, things will be closed for up to 14 months.
Will you work with our street department then to make sure that
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
get that street
Absolutely.
like we need it there on Main? Okay, okay, yeah. And since you're gonna strike it and, I just
And
want
if it's a matter of you're all more comfortable with the striping, you know, on your end, we are happy to be partners, however this works out best.
okay, Jason, street superintendent back there.
I would, if you don't mind, I talked to Josh a little bit, but Ed Moskovitz at Arnie's.
Yeah.
You guys spoke with him. I know
I
he had
spoke with him this
several
afternoon.
concerns, so I want to make sure that he had got a chance to talk to him. And then the trash behind in the alleyway is owned by or ran by Wampler's Disposal here in town.
Hmm.
So maybe just a quick call when you change everything up each time, so he knows.
Which is my card too.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, I know Ed stopped me when I was in there the other day.
Yeah, I've talked to him a couple of times now, and I know he's talked to Commissioner Brewer as well. And I'm not going to say if he's not going to notice us, but we're trying to make it as good as we can.
Sure. That's all. I just want to make sure you asked me about it, so.
Joe, Pam, did you have anything from the Main Street side?
We have talked with Dale, in reference to, from Main Street side of the Hot Dog Festival, and we reached an agreement, he'll shut down for basically that weekend for us and make us some room. And then I talked to him as the RDC president about the sidewalks there in the front. And we discussed, I told him he could go ahead and take it out to the curb as long as we still have access to that power. And I'm guessing the hydrant will still be in service there on the corner.
Yeah, we're not
So,
going to take out any of
and those are the only two things that we were concerned
Be
about.
good then.
So, yeah. And then I'll get back with them
Okay,
on the sidewalks as far as the RDC goes at some point. So,
anybody else have any questions for him?
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay,
Bill, on the parking, in front of the building, will you be allowing any parking there, or will you take that out while you tear out the back?
The parking directly in front of the building will have to be closed during construction. You're gonna want everything closed back to the travel lane, you get into the fall zone of the building, and with people taking things off the top levels, you're not gonna want anybody close. That is an area that I would like to return into service as soon as we can. So as soon as it is safe and we don't need the site space, I'd like to pull that fence back to at least give the courthouse side parking back as soon as possible. Unfortunately, I don't have a concrete timeframe I could give you on that, but I understand the priority, and that is something we're
well, there's
striving to
several
do.
parking spaces between those areas there.
And that's why we're doing our best to keep part of that lot back as accessible as we can, because we understand the pitch. And it will be worth it. That parking lot's gonna have double the capacity when it's back open. Depends how many spots we lose to the transformers, but we had 53 spots. We were at about 110. We'll probably be closer to 100 after the transformers go in, so almost good.
That's good then. We appreciate you.
Consolidate those in some way.
Yep, exactly. Some of those buildings are small enough that we can serve them off with one transformer. Couple spaces games.
Okay,
We're working on that.
okay.
And this is the last step. It's been a great group to work with, Dale and his group. They've been to the BZA, they've got their variances for their parking in the back. And this is the last step for them so that they can get started on their demos when they're ready to go. Which is just the sidewalks and the parking and moving things.
Demolition bids were due a couple days ago, so hopefully we'll make that selection shortly and get moving.
Okay, thank you. Thank you both for being here, explaining all this to us, and being so good to work with. I know the utilities have been working with you as well, so.
It's been some good communications and some very good people work with.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay.
We'll need a motion.
Yeah, we'll need a
Motion
motion
to go ahead
to
and
move
approve
Main
this.
Street,
Okay.
close the sidewalks and the parking
In the alley.
and the alley.
So we're gonna do the parking in front, the two sides.
Yeah, so what I would recommend is just kind of outlining in the minutes what all we're closing. So it would be the sidewalk on the west side of the building and the south side of the building, and then the street parking and the east lane on Main Street next to the building, and then the parking on the east side of Veterans Park. Right, would be what we want to do. think I got all that
I
right.
think you did. I think you
Struggling
did.
there, but
And a couple of parking spaces on the south of it that are immediately in
Correct.
front.
Yes, yes. Did you get all that, Carol?
yes. Don't ask me to repeat it.
Okay, but would someone like to make that motion, please?
I'll make a motion that we accept the proposal for parking of the areas designated tonight by the city attorney.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller. Megan Sheets.
Aye. Okay, you're ready to go.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate you.
That's all I have there.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hey, community development, where Kimberly, are you there?
I'm back here.
See you guys. So he's gonna call for your permit.
I got a long list.
Push him out of the way.
Yeah.
I'm sure Dave.
Oh, great, hiring. The only thing I have for this evening, other than updates, is the approval for Rec Desk. It would be the recreation software that Katie and I have been looking into. And it will help with the pool passes and the summer passes. When they come into the pool, also will help navigate our facility rentals and our shelter rentals. So working with Katie and Jason on this. Super excited to kind of bring this little piece. It'll be a point of sales for the aquatic management company. And then we'll be able to actually email and text blast if the pool closes early due to weather or the pool needs to open late due to some unforeseen circumstance. So with your approval, we'll be able to move forward with this.
So will Katie be the one that's taking care of it mainly, or?
It will be, what I'm hoping is, Katie and I kind of talked about this because it's going to be the facility side. She'll be able to kind of handle it, and then everyone on the pool, like pool manager, the assistant manager, they should be able to take care of the pool side. But just kind of her being on staff, so in case they have any issues this first season, she'll be able to kind of help them out. So.
And this is something that Kim highly recommended to us, to keep track of like passes, that type of thing. She can do shelter rentals, I think neighborhood center, Prairie Creek Parks, you can do that for all of them. So it's pretty common now. This is the way they're doing these things for like aquatic centers and parks. So I think it'd be a great thing.
And passes, when you first pick up your pass, she'll take a picture. And then that way, when you scan your pass every time, it'll pull up your picture, and then we'll actually be able to keep track of how many people are coming in every day and how many times somebody's using their season pass or individual pass.
And we are pretty sure we have a computer already that we can use. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
we have 2 desktops and 2 hard drives that we'll be able to take over there, and then I'll be able to do the beginning before the pool opens for them to come in, and then I will relinquish all of that over to them so they can do it and walk them through it.
Okay, good. That's great.
I'll make the motion that we approve the contract for Rec Desk software, and I believe what hasn't been mentioned yet is a prorated amount for this year, $2,800.
Second motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, you're ready to go on that. Thank you, and thank you for all your work on it.
And then just updates from community development side. We're working on the Memorial Day service. So I've been in touch with the American Legion and the VFW. They've asked the city to kind of step in and help coordinate and facilitate. So we're working on that. The Memorial Day service will be May 29th at 10:30 a.m. And then the only other thing I have is muffins with the mayors tomorrow morning at 8:30. So Gym City Junction has some great muffins, and we'll be out in the lobby. So I have, unless you have anything, is that at 4? Yes, it's every quarter.
Thank you. All right, you've been working hard, you and Katie, and.
Yes. Make her life easier.
Yes. Okay, do you have more for us, Ben? No. You have nothing else?
The only thing I have is, RDC, it's kind of, if you want me to bring that up, Joe Palmer here for that. It's the sidewalk, contract.
Okay.
Do you want me to do that under my section or new business?
If you want to go ahead and do it, that's fine with me, yeah.
So the redevelopment commission has a sidewalk bid for the sidewalks next on Main Street from the alley by Veterans Park up to the alley by the main hotel. And they have a bid for $42,000 and some change. And there's my folder. So they've got a bid from Campos Construction for $42,586.25 to do those sidewalks in 2 phases. Phase 1 will be from the alley at Veterans Park to the railroad, and then phase 2 will be from the railroad to the alley south of the main hotel. And they are wanting to get approval from the Board of Works. That will come out of the RDC budget to pay for that, but they are seeking your approval to get started on that sidewalk replacement repair.
So do we approve the contract or just give them approval to move forward?
You can, I think I have the contract set up to be signed by you, Mayor. So you can approve the contract, and then they will actually put forth the funds for that.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm excited about that. It's gonna make it look really nice.
They're gonna start roughly the 1st of May.
Good,
So
good. It's gonna look great.
Mayor, if you'll also waive the fee for the permit, so we would.
Okay. Okay. We'll put that all together. Okay. He's gonna do that.
I'll make the motion that we approve the independent contract. Well, I'm a little confused. We want to waive the fees for that, of course, for the
Yes.
pouring of the sidewalks, but the agreement, the RDC is already executing that agreement, and what it's actually we're approving. I'm sorry.
So the RDC, so the agreement is an independent contractor agreement for Campos Construction, and then what we should do, we can go ahead and approve that agreement and then just waive the fees, the permitting fees
Okay.
after that.
Okay, I see. There's an area for the mayor to execute on it. So I'll make the motion that the mayor execute the agreement for the independent contract agreement with Campos, and that the city also waive the fees for that project.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Craig Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Okay, Joe, you're ready to go.
Thank you. I might add that we are gonna look at phase 3, which is also the alley at Main Hotel, all the way to Morrison Street. We're hoping to include that later this year. So that'll be sidewalks all the way down through there. There will be, and I know Dale left, but there's gonna be a holdup on getting our power across the street there in front of Patrick's because of what's going on at Regions or the county. But we will have everything in place, and then when they get the power straightened out, we'll just hook up.
You'll be ready to
So,
go.
yes.
Okay, good. Thank you.
That's all I have there.
Okay. Interest? You have a conflict of interest for us, is that right?
Yes. That is for Charity Keller, who is an employee of the police department. And she's signing a conflict of interest for her daughter's business, who also does business with the city.
Okay. We have somebody, a motion to accept that conflict.
I'll make a motion, we accept the conflict of interest disclosure statement for Charity Keller.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Aye.
Craig Miller. Megan Sheets.
Okay. Hotel Festival contract. Kim Stevens. Hello.
I have a packet in front of each one of you here for some projected numbers that we have for concerts at Prairie Creek Park and for Hotel Festival. I have 4 contracts that I have given you copies of. I would like to move forward with these tomorrow if we possibly can. But the first one would be for entertainment for Saturday evening, starting at 4 o'clock, would be the Moon Camp. Then the second one would be, the Sounds of Summer, which would be our headliner for that evening. Oh, sorry. There was another one in there. I could Lowry, would be at 6:30, and then 8 or 9 o'clock would be, the Sounds of Summer for the headliner. Their contracts are attached, so you can see what they're asking for, but obviously, we take care of the hotels and the food and everything on Main Street, so. And then I do have a contract for just one for Saturday so far, and that would be, with Boys in the Band, and that would be our Saturday headliner. And then I have several that we're working around.
Okay, so this is what you're wanting approved right now. And then you have any questions for Kim?
She's done all the heavy lifting.
Yeah, she's good.
So I'll make the motion, we approve the packet presented by Main Street for the entertainment at Prairie Creek Park for the 2023 season.
Second motion.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Okay, I have approval to move forward with these, and then you'll be back for the
Yes,
rest of
I
them.
will bring the rest of them.
Okay, okay, great, thank you.
Thank you.
The core,
I'll make sure I have my-
and this is just because they changed their name, and I don't know.
Well, it's actually, yeah, because it's to allow us to
Do the
take
payroll.
advantage of the corporate membership price, and we do not do.
We don't do, you're more not gonna wrong us the core, okay? So it's just strictly to get the corporate rates.
It's just qualify us as a corporate member, so our employees can get that rate.
Make a motion to accept the corporation membership promotion, your core for the city of Franklin.
And I'll second, roll call please.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Okay, well, thank you. It's similar to what we had with the Y, but now since they changed names. Does anybody have anything else? Okay. Thank you. Thank you everyone for being here this afternoon. See you here about 7 o'clock.
I got it all down.